everyone, my name is Willow Rose Moon Dancer. I make videos here on YouTube about Wicca, and I also have a blog called wiccans@wiccan.com. Today we are going to be talking about earth angels or angels incarnate and signs that you may be one. So this whole topic actually came up because I was having a conversation with my dad about the various different types of star seeds and how I thought I was one and how I thought my brother and my sister were one. And he was like, well, actually, I have been wondering if I'm possibly an earth angel or an angel incarnate. A few people that I know who don't know each other have been actually telling me that I am an earth angel or an angel incarnate. And so I've been kind of thinking about that. And so that led me to do some research, and I thought that I would share all the information with you. Before I get super into it though, I'd like to apologize if there's any background noise. It is raining outside and there are cars driving past and my window's open. So hopefully if it is picking up, it is making a nice soft ambiance in the background. So, first we need to discuss the difference between an earth angel and an angel incarnate, or even if there is a difference. During my research, I have found that some people say they're the same and other people say they are different. For the purpose of this post, I am saying they're the same. I view them as the same. However, I will leave it up to you for your interpretation. They're very similar to star seeds in the sense that it's a person whose soul originates from someone not human. So star seeds are from extraterrestrial life, whereas earth angels are souls that are reincarnate angels. And similar to like star seeds, when they are reincarnated, they forget their angelic origins. This is because, like, when you really think about it, if you're an angel and you're becoming a human, it's kind of a downgrade. And when you're used to life being like a certain level up here, and then you're introduced to a life down here, it would be like a rich person going poor, right? That's like it's a culture shock, honestly. So forgetting about their angelic origins really keeps them from living a miserable human life, so they can enjoy their life as a human to the best of their abilities. It would be like knowing you can fly, but then not actually being able to, right? And also something that's important to remember about star seeds is that the purpose of a soul of an angel reincarnating into a human is simply because they have a purpose, a goal, a mission that they need to complete that requires them to be in a human form on Earth. So let's get into the various signs that you could be in. We're going to go with Earth Angel, that you can be an Earth Angel. So sign number 1. You've always been connected to nature, mythical creatures, and the meaning of life. Since this came up about my dad, I will give examples like I usually do, and they will be related to my father. So I cannot vouch for how he felt about nature when he was a kid, but I know that since I've been alive, he's always enjoyed going on nature walks with me, and he's always enjoyed going camping. We've gone fishing together. I know that since he was a teenager, at the very least, he's always been super into fantasy novels, and he's been playing Dungeons and Dragons, which is all about mythical creatures. And I would say that based on the conversations I've had with my dad about, the meaning of life, our purposes here on Earth, our soul's origins, that he definitely seems to be interested in the idea of there being a meaning of life, and he very much enjoys exploring those possibilities. So, sign number 2. You are interested in philosophy, alternative methods of healing, and the metaphysical. I know he's into philosophy. He's tried to have conversations about philosophy with me. However, it goes right over my head, so that doesn't happen. But I do know that it is something he enjoys. He is very much into Reiki. He gets it done from others. He does it to himself. He does Reiki for others. He has level 2 to 3 Reiki in various different types of Reiki. We actually got trained for Reiki at one point together for levels 1 and 2. And I think just the fact that he believes in earth angels and that he could be one kind of just in itself shows that he's interested in metaphysical things. But he's also very much into he's very much interested in crystals. He has his song bowl. He meditates. He loves incense. He does Reiki, which in and of itself is somewhat metaphysical. And yeah, very much so. Sign number 3. Relationships may be difficult due to being attracted to abusive partners or partners with deep emotional issues. Something that my dad has struggled with is finding a relationship. He has a tendency, for the most part, there are some exceptions, however, to him finding someone to be in a relationship with, and things seem to be going well, and then all of a sudden they break up because the person he was with had some sort of emotional baggage that they felt they needed to deal with before being in a relationship. And that has seemed to happen quite frequently. Sign number 4. You may often space out, have lucid dreams, vivid dreams, daydreams, or astral projections. So I know that as a kid, my dad said that he could do whatever he wanted in a dream. He would essentially just go to sleep and pick a dream. If things got too overwhelming for him, he could just tell himself in the dream to wake up, and he would. He has told me, though, that as an adult, he has stopped remembering his dreams when he wakes up. Sign number 5. You have a hard time communicating, so you do so through art, music, writing, and healing. When it comes to this for my dad, I know that he enjoys writing his emotions, so he does have a hard time sometimes confronting people about the way he feels, and I know that he does sometimes rely on writing all of his emotions and feelings on paper and communicating that way, because that's something that he taught me as a child, because I also have a hard time communicating my feelings. And he's also an amazing singer. He competed in Canada's Got Talent before it was a TV show, and was a finalist in that. So he does portray his emotions that way as well. And as we've already said, when it comes to healing, he does do Reiki. Sign number 6. You are not comfortable with your physical body, especially your feet, due to being used to flying. I thought that this was a funnily specific sign, and it's even more funny as it's something that my dad certainly does connect with. I know that ever since I can remember, he's always been really touchy and self-conscious about his feet. But yeah, that one is true. Sign number 7. People tell you look way younger than you are. When I was a kid, no one ever believed he was old enough to have kids our age. I specifically remember one time he was playing it wasn't actually baseball, but it was It was a sport similar to baseball. They have to throw underhand rather than overhand, I think was the big difference for when they were pitching the ball to the batter. Anyway, I was a kid then, and I remember the people that he was playing this game with and not realizing that we were his kids because they didn't think that he was old enough to have us as kids. And I also know that when I was a teenager, people often thought that my dad was my age, and that he was more like my friend than an actual parent. And I think this was a mix of him looking young for his age due to being an earth angel, but me also looking older than my age due to me being a crystal child. But yeah, sign number 8. You are in a job where you care for others in one way or another. This is true for my dad. When I was a kid, he worked with people who had additional needs and cared for them. And since my preteens, I think, or maybe even younger. No, about my preteens. My dad started looking after people in long-term care facilities, nursing homes. He's a continuing care assistant, which is essentially like people who do home care and nursing home care. He now does home care rather than working in the nursing home. Sign number 9. They are often incarnated in a family that has some sort of dysfunctionality to it. That could be through addiction, mental illness, abuse, etc. And they do this to bring light to the family. For privacy reasons, I'm not going to get into this so much, and honestly, I probably don't even know half of it, half of the situation, probably next to none of it, but I know enough to know that this is a relevant issue for my father. Sign number 10. Although they do not keep their wings physically, they keep them etherically. I hope I said that right. So one time when my dad was getting Reiki done to him, the practitioner actually said that she saw angel wings coming from my father. And while he's getting Reiki done, especially when he's getting Reiki done by this one particular lady who I've also gotten Reiki done from, angels actually come into the room while he gets it done. Sign number 11. You have a tendency to feel different and alienated from others. I know that my dad has a hard time making and maintaining friendships, which could be linked to this. I also have this issue, unfortunately. I guess it runs in the family. But yeah, especially as an adult. I know that my dad moved around a lot when he was a kid, like at least once a year usually. And so that was probably also alienating and lonesome in that regard, because you finally make a friend and then you'd move away and lose them. So there's that. That is all for the signs. However, one more thing that I want to mention though is that they tend, like people who are earth angels, tend to live only until their purpose is complete. It is quite common for an earth angel to die as an infant or a child. However, there are definitely earth angels who are adults, as you can see with my father. My theory when it comes to like my father's purpose and why he's still alive, if you will, is that if you've seen my other videos or you've checked out my blog, you will know that I believe that that my brother, my sister, and we're all star seeds. I'm a crystal child, my brother is an indigo child, and my sister is a rainbow child. If you don't know what any of that means, please make sure to check out my videos in this playlist, which I'll leave somewhere up here. And so my dad's purpose, I think, was to bring 3 star seeds of all 3 different main types into the world. However, how this happened is a little roundabout because my dad had me and my brother. And one thing that's important to remember with indigo children is they're typically born into dysfunctional families, just like the Earth child. And at this point, my dad was married to my brother and I's mother, and it was definitely a dysfunctional family. They divorced when I was 3. My brother would have been approximately 1, maybe in his early 2s. And so that is how we came to be. However, in order for my sister to come, rainbow children usually are born to stable families. So my sister, who's technically my half-sister, but in my world she's just my sister, she was born to my and my stepdad. And rainbow children are typically born into a family where there's a crystal parent, like a crystal starseed parent. However, I don't believe my mom or my stepdad, either of them, are starseeds at all. But I, being 7 years older than my sister, took on a very maternal role in her upbringing. I had a lot to do with raising her. And so I think having a crystal sibling, and not to mention also another starseed within the family, was a good enough substitute to have her be brought. And so now my dad has accomplished his goal in bringing in 3 starseeds, whether it was directly or in a roundabout way, like with my sister. And something that I've been thinking about recently is when I was 12, my dad had cancer. And when I was 12, my sister would have been born at this point. I started wondering today if maybe the purpose for him having had cancer was to mark the end of that specific goal. And then the fact that he, is in full remission and has been, was to say now he's on to his new goal. That could be totally off base. It was just something that I thought about, and I'd love to hear your thoughts down below on that theory. However, I think he still is kicking around today, because the second part of his purpose is to help raise us. And so I have a really great relationship with my dad, and I've always had a really great relationship with my sister, and as an adult I've been building on a good relationship with my brother. And so I find a lot of the time that my dad has those effects on me, and then especially with my sister, I take those things that he teaches me and has raised me to be, and I do that with her. So I take those things that I've learned and I teach them to her. And I do that so with my brother, but my brother also has experience firsthand with my dad. So I think he gets the upbringing that my dad's giving us a little bit from both of us, depending on who he's open to hearing that day. But yeah, so that's kind of my theory. And that's all I have for today's video. Make sure you check out my blog, wiccansaren'twicked.com, as I make 2 posts a week, one on Wednesday and one on Friday. And make sure you subscribe to me here, because I make videos every Monday and Thursday. And until next time, blessed be.